Welcome to Drive-In Double Feature Podcast. I'm Nathan.
I'm Ryan.
And this is the podcast where we talk about 2 movies a week every Tuesday and Thursday. But before we get into this week's episode, I want to talk to you about our Patreon. If you head over to patreon.com/Drive-In Double Feature Podcast, you get bonus content over there, stuff like fun conversations, games, but you do help support the channel. That $5 that you give to us over there goes right into the channel, helps us with rentals, Zoom fees, things like that. But getting into today's episode, this is a recommendation. It's for the Velocipastor from 2017, directed and edited, don't forget that one, by Brendan Steer. This one was a recommendation from my father, who is a pastor. I guess my parents and my sister could not figure out a movie one night. So they were just scrolling through. They saw Velocipastor and they were like, all right, I'm just going to put this on because we couldn't find anything. And then I got a call saying I had to cover this movie. So here we are talking about the Velocipastor.
So Nathan, I mean, your dad is a pastor. Was he like drawn to this movie because of that? Do you think like this was like, oh my God, the main character is a pastor, and this movie's speaking to me?
I think so. No, it sounded more like my sister was pointing. It was like it's a pastor. You have to do it. You have to watch it. So it was more like peer pressure, like religious peer pressure. Like, you're not a real pastor if you've never seen Velocipastor.
Right. I've never heard of religious peer pressure.
No, oh God, never. That's never been a thing. No. Very welcoming.
No,
but
what a pimp he is.
It's so funny because there's even a pimp in this movie. So it's almost like it's close to real life. But Ryan, it seems like you have some history with this movie.
Not some history, but I do watch a lot of these movies with one of my friends, and he was very excited to watch this movie, and I didn't tell him we were watching it until the very end, and then he figured it out, and then we were watching it, and he was just very giddy the whole time watching it.
Oh, well, I'm happy to hear that. I could see that it kind of definitely fits our vibe. It's a B movie. Then again, it is a manufactured B movie. I'll get into it. This is a movie that's made to be bad. It's not a movie that was made and was bad. Get what I'm saying?
No.
No, you think it was you think it was made with good intentions at its heart.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was them trying, right?
Yeah, definitely. They were trying really hard. They were planning on that Oscar. And you know what? It is a rated X movie from a group of Christians.
Which group?
I don't know. I forget what it said at the beginning. It doesn't even say in the description.
Doesn't it say like rated X by an all Christian jury?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what it says.
So that's a reference to that one movie, like Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song. You know, like, you ever heard of that movie?
Yeah, I've heard of it. But I didn't get the reference.
Well, the tagline for that movie was rated X by an all-white jury, because it's a
Oh,
it's
that's
like
good.
a black movie. So that's a parody of that.
Yeah, see, this movie felt like an ode to B movies. Like, it had a lot of nods and stuff like that. Probably a lot that went over my head. The biggest one, just because it's so fresh in my head, was at the end of the movie. It has like we can world peace without violence. The same quote that plays at the end of Miami Connection flashes on the screen after heavy amounts of violence in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So there's love for the genre here.
No Jerry Seinfeld though.
No Jerry Seinfeld. I wish Jerry showed up.
I mean, can you imagine if he was like, "And what's the deal with this Velocipastor? He's not a Velociraptor. He's not a pastor.
Yeah,
what kind of religion would allow them to do this? Where's my high school girlfriend?"
And then Kramer comes in. Jerry, I just slept with your high school girlfriend. I get it now, Jerry. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. We need to cover more Jerry Seinfeld movies, like B movie and like all
And
that great stuff.
yeah,
Uh-huh. But anyway, the first thing that tipped me off that so of course the movie's named Velocipastor. I knew it was being silly, but then I realized it was one of those manufactured B movies whenever at the very beginning of the movie, Pastor Doug, his parents die right in front of him after he's going to preschool. And instead of showing the car fire, the explosion, it just says insert VFX car fire. Um,
right.
I was like, okay, all right. So let me just say right off the bat, I didn't love this movie. It is funny. I do think it has some good jokes, but I think overall it's trying too hard.
I felt the same exact way. There are some chuckle-worthy moments. There were some
Yeah,
moments where I was just like, "Oh, okay, that kind of got me." But overall, I really like. It's kind of like a turn off to me when a lot of movies are like, "We're making a bad movie. We're making it on purpose." We've said
yeah.
this before, and I felt like this movie was like you said was trying really hard to push that envelope of just like, okay, like, well, we don't really have to try hard because we're not making a good movie here.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just not clicking right. Like you said, they're not trying hard. Like they're insert do Asylum. If you got to put in a bad CGI car fire, you know what? That's kind of funny in itself. But the fact that you're just putting on the screen VFX car fire, just like, that's not funny. Like no movie would willingly do that. If you're doing like a tribute to B movies or bad movies, none of those movies would do anything like
I
that.
You're right. So like anytime like any one of those movies, like they would have tried like they would have had like CGI fire on like a car that was just sitting there, or
Hmm.
at the very least had like an explosion off screen and you could like just see like the flames coming like
Yeah.
off frame or something like that.
Hmm.
But you would never see like a movie like that lazy where it was just like insert visual effects.
Yeah, and just release it. No, and I think that's like it's almost like the joke isn't funny because it's just not even like relatable. It's not like, oh yeah, that would never happen. So, and I think when it's genuinely funny, it's like something that's a little more relatable. Like he watches his parents die and he goes on a spiritual journey from Father Stewart, who's like, hey, go to a place where you don't think God would go. And of course, he goes to
Mhm.
China, which is kind of funny. But the location is China and it's just a forest, right? So that's funny. It just, oh, he's in a forest just somewhere and it just says China. So I have to believe it's China. I think that's kind of funny. While he's in China, he gets given like a Velociraptor talon, which turns him into a were Velociraptor.
I
Um,
did I did like the thing where it was just like some dude's forest and they're like, it's China or whatever.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I thought that was really funny. Like that, because that's like something that a cheap movie would do.
Right, exactly. Like they would just get like this random feel and be like they're in a different country, but then they get like a random Asian woman, they put her like in a karate gi with like a rice patty hat, and it's like, okay, like
Yeah,
like you had me with one joke, but now you're kind of pushing it a little bit.
exactly. And they kind of keep up with that joke for a long time in this movie. But I mean, and it's funny. He goes to China, and it's instantly he's back home. He turns into a Velociraptor, and then he's being taken care of. And then this is where we learn about the story of Carol, who is a prostitute. And she has a pimp. What was the name of the pimp again?
What wasn't it like Joey Mermaid or something like that, or
That's right.
Tom,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. Frankie Mermaid. Frankie Mermaid.
Frankie Mermaid? Yeah,
Yeah, I love it because she walks up to him and he the first thing he does is just slaps her right then,
yeah.
like as soon as he sees her. And it's like, why do they call me Frankie Mermaid? Because I'm swimming in bitches. Fine, it's funny. But yeah, so what ends up happening is Carol gets attacked in the forest, and then Doug turns into a velociraptor and kills this guy. And so now Carol and Doug have paired up to take on evildoers because that's what God would want, right? To kill off only bad guys. Um,
Right.
big
Well,
thing. Oh, go ahead.
that uh, did you want to bring up the costume for the
That's what
Velocipastor?
that's what I was about to bring up, and it gets shown a lot more. But it's cheap. It's like one of those Spirit Halloween blow up T Rexes. It's not even a Velociraptor. It's a T Rex. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
it's slightly better than a blow up one,
Uh
but
huh.
it's like you said, it looks like a little like it's like somebody like a short person in like a T-Rex costume.
Yeah, it's like really hunched over. It's
Hmm.
odd looking, but yeah. And then all it does is he like just flails around in it. It is they're not trying. They're obviously not.
No,
But that's the joke. Haha, I'm in on the
it's
joke.
funny. We're not trying. We don't we're if we do it for laughs, then that's we don't have to put in effort.
I feel like such a negative Nathan when I talk about this because I'm like, oh, it's not funny, but I just really don't think it's funny. I just can't get into it.
No, yeah, I mean, like I said, my friend who watched it, he enjoys this movie a lot. I
Yeah,
mean,
which
on
good for
Letterboxd,
him.
which he gave it a 4 out of 5. You know, he loves this one. So I, you know, it, I'm sure, it's kind of like a parody movie. I mean, you can kind of more knock it akin to like a parody movie versus like an actual B movie. So kind of like a Naked Gun maybe or something. Not, well, not as clever as that, but that's kind of
Maybe
like
more
the
like
vibe.
scary movie.
Just kind of the vibe they're going for, really, is just like how absurd it is.
Yeah, I could see why somebody would enjoy this. I really do. I think this would hit somebody just right. I just feel like where we watch B movies almost like a job, maybe it just doesn't hit the same way. Whereas if we weren't episode 400 in deep of all these movies that we watch, maybe I wouldn't like it or I would like it a little bit more.
Imagine if we were like on like episode 2, like we premiere with
Velocipastor.
Professor.
There's a podcast about me B movies out there that would open with Velocipastor, like the pinnacle, right? No, instead we do
Maybe.
Hitler Dead or Alive.
But yeah, that was an early episode.
Yeah, it was.
But no, I there was some like really funny stuff in there, with like the some of the gags in there, or like
Mhm.
with Frankie Mermaid like going to the confession, being like, yeah, like so I killed all these people,
Yeah,
I've
I
killed all these women. I'm a pimp. And I was like, and I also set this kid's parents' car on fire, which ended up killing them too. Like, I mean, it's just like,
and Doug's like, oh, and he's like, yeah, and there was some guy out front yelling, "Mom, Dad!" just yelling. That was funny. I think in him saying all the crimes he did, he said like, "Oh, I stole candy from a baby, and then I threw the baby in the river so it wouldn't snitch." It's kind of funny. So, but Doug does kill him as a raptor, which Carol finds out about this, and Carol is in love with Doug pretty much because he's saved her life not once but twice. The one scene where he wakes up naked and then he thinks they've had sex the night before, that's kind of funny. It's been done, but where she's like, oh, it was really short when it happened, and he's like, oh, what was it? Was it not good? And I think she said, well, I was a little scared. I peed a little. Yeah, kind of funny, I guess. Like it made me chuckle. Um,
I've changed my mind. This movie's hilarious.
I know I'm like saying jokes. I'm like, I mean, I laughed. I guess it's just the overall. Okay, this is the beginning of the movie too. I think this movie definitely loses its touch at the end, if anything. Um, and that's because it does like these weird moments. I can tell the director edited this movie now. There's this montage of the both of them killing off people, and it's got like happy music and stuff is moving, which I think can be funny, but maybe it
Yeah.
just goes on too long. And it's the same with there is a sex scene later in the movie where that's like just a music video. And I get it's a joke. I think it's a joke on like artsy sex scenes, but how long does that last? Like a good 4 minutes, this like artsy montage. Like it stops becoming a good joke at a certain point.
Yeah. No, that's one of the worst things you could do in a movie, like a comedy, is just like overdo this joke, and it's just,
Hmm.
especially ones that feel like it's like wore out its welcome.
Exactly. Yeah. Um, trying to think. There is one bit that I don't think is like, no, you know what? It works. I like it. So Father Stewart is the older guy, and he gets a whole section of the movie that's a flashback to his past and why he became a priest. And it's just him
Mm.
in a wig in Vietnam. Um,
All right.
yeah, yeah. And the guy he's with, I forget his name. But they were just like talking, and then he's like, I want you to go home and have 7 kids, and I want you to spend 15 minutes each with them every single day. And you know what? I want you to name one of them Wes after your Vietnam War buddy, Wes, me. And then he's like the guy who never got shot in Vietnam. So of course he gets shot the next moment. Um and then he's like missing his wife, and so his wife shows up in Vietnam and it's like running through the forest, and she stands on a landmine and just explodes right in his face. And I think his buddy is like, oh, she's not gonna get out of this, or it doesn't look too good, something like that. But that joke gets a little ruined because it continues on, and then it does this weird cut like they took the rest out of the movie, which isn't the first time that happens. They do weird cuts like out, like a whole scene's missing from the movie multiple times. um
Yeah, well, I'm assuming that's making fun of like some of those grindhouse movies or whatever that have like really poor editing or whatever. And it just seems
yeah,
like you're watching it at home and like there's like a lost scene or something like that, and it's just like completely excised from the
yeah.
movie.
Which, didn't they do that in Grindhouse? I think
They
Zombie did that, or whatever, Planet Terror.
Planet Terror, a fake fan, Jesus.
Fake Rodriguez fan. What do you
Yeah,
love, Spy Kids? All of them.
Tarantino's in it, so by proxy, you have to love it.
I guess you're right. Yeah, he is the scene stealer in that movie.
He does.
Hmm.
He's like, let me see your feet.
Oh yeah, and then her feet melts off. Right, it's like a horrible
Yeah,
nightmare for him.
yeah, like, ah. No,
um,
but no, they do that where it's like scene missing, and it's just like all this stuff has happened or whatever, but they're just like, oh yeah, that's how it is now.
yep, yeah. So they do that joke a few times. But they try to excise the Velociraptor out of Doug, and it's with like a Chris Angel guy. They get like a Chris Angel almost looking dude to excise him. But he ends up killing Father Stewart. But this whole time, this whole movie, there's this second plot where it's in China, where this group of Chinese people are looking for the Velociraptor claw. So Father Stewart ends up with them to try to get the Velocipastor to kill him. Yep. Yeah. That.
I
Go
mean,
ahead.
no, I was just like just come like some of the parts I'm just like drawing a blank on sometimes
Yeah.
because and just I'm just like remembering some of the stuff like as you said, I'm like, did that happen? And they're like, oh yeah, I guess it did, huh? Like
No, I'm just lying. I'm making up stuff over here. Oh no, that means like my fact checker isn't here. So I could be just like completely like saying the wrong thing, and you could just be like, uh-huh,
yeah,
uh-huh.
just say what yeah, just say whatever you want, Nathan. Yeah, great scene.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a scene where like a guy's taking a dump in a porta potty, and it's like on these like slingshot, and they slingshot it up, and it gets all the
Uh,
poop and stuff gets on them.
well, that sounds good.
But I mean,
Is there just
well, yeah, because I actually think the end of this movie is probably the worst part of this, because it goes into he ends up going to the Chinese people, and there's a huge fight scene. And I thought this was just really boring. Just I don't know, it just wasn't funny. Just the fake Velociraptor killing people. I think it's supposed to be
yeah,
funny
just
because it's a
chomping
silly
on them or like
costume.
cutting them up?
Yeah, the one time I thought was pretty good was the dude in the costume just flops on the floor, and the tail of him like tackles a guy, like that's what brings him down. Um Yeah, because there's like a final scene where he kills the main bad guy and he raises the head up in the sky and he's like, yeah, and then he flips the head around so the front of the head is facing the camera. Um, I feel like
Maybe it's like, oh, it's just like Ricky O when he had like the warden's head, and he's
I
just
think
like,
I could see it. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's so many movies where I feel like they raise a beheaded person up, and that's probably like, why do they always face it towards the camera? That's like the joke there. But no, that's actually not the real ending because in the end, Carol actually dies in that scene. But at the end of the movie, they're in the hospital, and guess what? She's fine.
he's fine. Yeah.
And that flashes text on the screen. She's fine.
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember.
Okay, you better. I hope you're gonna take a quiz after this. What I said was a lie or not? Because I said one
I
thing
just,
that was a lie.
I just always assume you're lying.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, he doesn't know anything. But no, I think overall Velocipastor, the more I talk about it, it's not that I hate the movie. I just didn't find it that funny and I would never watch it again, but I kind of get why someone would like it.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I mean, it's not my cup of tea. I would not, it would not be something that I would want to revisit. But, there was enough in there where I'm like, you know what, like, there was enough like competency in there where like it wasn't like a miserable experience or anything like
Yeah.
that, where I was just like groaning, like, type of thing. But because there was jokes in there where I was like genuinely like, oh, okay, that was kind of clever.
Yeah, I
But,
laughed.
overall, like, if you're gonna do like a bad movie, like, it's much more entertaining to see a movie put in all this effort and trying their best and then just utterly failing.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I want to see. Like that. I feel like there's a movie we watched recently that was like a great bad movie, which is such a good example of that. But
Oh,
uh,
well, no, I was gonna say Hudson Hawk, but we both actually like genuinely liked that one. And then,
yeah, Hudson Hawk was actually like a good movie. Unless that's what I meant. Like, no, no, no. There's something. Oh, Vivarium.
yeah, that
Oh,
we had such a great time.
The Last Vampire on Earth, where that's a
Uh,
very clearly just awful, awful movie, but it's just so much fun to watch
well,
because it's awful and they tried.
that's the thing. It's like they get like they're trying to be like this really serious vampire romance movie. They're trying to get them to like pretend like get you to buy into this romance, like it's this big epic romance. They're trying to get like this dorky looking guy and pretend like he's a hot dude or something like that.
Yeah, it's stuff like that that's like fun to watch. But yeah, I would say this is a not recommend, and I'm guessing it's the same for you.
Yeah, no, not a recommend for me. If you like kind of off the wall zany movies, maybe give this one a shot, but I think there's better ones out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I think that wraps it up for this one. Ryan, what are we talking about on Thursday?
Well, Nathan, we are going to be talking about the movie Body Melt, and that is free on YouTube right now.
All right. I'm excited to watch that one. And if you want to email us, you can email us at driveadoubleFeaturePodcast@gmail.com. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. But until next time.
Until next time.